Alright, let's keep it a buck. This TKO era has not done WWE any favors when it comes to their premier live events, booking their future talent. The only acquisition that has been of any note with former AEW talent Mariah May that was notable for her feud with Tony Storm, timeless Tony Storm, and the falling out of anything was R-Truth's final match against Jeff Cobb after being one of the headliners against John Cena back at Saturday Night Main Event, where he had more headlines over nearly losing the event, after losing the event, getting jumped and causing a bit of an inner riot over Jey Uso's entire world title run right now. That's more relevant than Kofi Mania after WrestleMania type shit. I try to be patient. I try to be a bit more respectful, because I don't like ripping on talent unless they give me a reason to. R-Truth has barely given me much of a reason. He's been one of the most long-term talents in the WWE, even on the lowest points. As K-Quick, Ron the Truth Killings, where he kind of established more of his caricature, his athleticism, and how elevated he could be. And then as soon as he came back around 08, he's elevated to one of the more prime comedic talents up to his 50s, where he's probably still fitter than half the roster, has been the most consistent in segments, even making the 24/7 championship irrelevant, making the 24/7 championship relevant whenever he picks it up. Has a more funny, be that as it may, sometimes it doesn't resonate with my type of humor, but still resembles a lot over what makes R-Truth such a likable character. And the same thing has been showing off with the amount of cutbacks, especially when it comes to 10-year contracts, making higher wages. Motherfuckers up in TKO treating WWE superstars like it's a salary cap and they're getting ready for the second umbrella. Now I understand that there's wages to configure WWE to more sustainable business. So why overpay for The Miz if he's not going to be headlining our sales or our merch, even though he has the most experience, while we could get Mariah May for probably cheaper, and she already pick over most of the pop, knowing that she'd probably be one of the more future premier talent that we have on the roster. Because that's the type of thing that we're getting in the WWE right now. And it sucks. Carlito's contract is also going to be running under. We're probably not going to see The Miz again. As well, after his opening statements that he had about R-Truth and what the business did over after literally being the best parts of the build-up for Saturday Night Main Event. And that's how it is. TKO has also had to cancel a WrestleMania. That's money dropped over on the table for a probable move back to Las Vegas to return after seating numbers. I already just agreed. I already don't like New Orleans. Bro, we've been there more times than New York. And last time was like 2019. That's probably the worst WrestleMania I ever saw. I think that was WrestleMania 35 or something. Terrible. I would not go back and watch that. But just know that we wouldn't have a domestic, a constant rotation when it comes to cities, and we have to go to the same place to push over a higher populace, because that would do well for the shareholders. You know how sad it is now that we have Vince McMahon haters turned into appreciators after all the things Vince has tried to accumulate to try to evolve over the business, and now what people think was an insult to wrestling, we probably didn't know how good we had it. That is disrespectful. I'd rather have R-Truth with Lil Jimmy, with his Lil Jimmy family, his imaginary family as a faction against John Cena on Raw, than watching Jey Uso's entitled title run while seeing him feud with Gunther, Sami Zayn, and he feels like a minor character, even though he should be revolving around your primetime programming with Seth Rollins' new group. Like, it's ridiculous out here. The financial cutbacks, the unnecessary monetization. Motherfuckers gotta put Slim Jim and a WWE logo on a table before you smash on it. How much monetization you need for programming that's already over on a streaming paywall to watch your primetime network now in a 3-hour Friday Night SmackDown? Most people that are coming over to your audience are not wrestling fans. And if they are humanly wrestling fans, they're one of the declining few that actually want to muscle up and watch your show, bro. Because there's no shot. Because I could barely tell you anybody that's an establishing face in the WWE that wouldn't try to use their talents to go somewhere else. And let me tell you, that's not going to be Bayley, because no one's going to miss Bayley. And WWE already has already been having a struggling time to find establishing stars that even Triple H could trust, or Triple H would have under the ear of Nick Khan or Vince McMahon, of potential guys. Because he's not even suited on who he wants for the finish of Money in the Bank, even though people thought that'd be LA Knight. But even as it is, there's no uptake over a short fix for a long-term solution. Especially with some of your main stars out. CM Punk is not going to carry your show. Cody's not going to carry your show. Damn, we know. Oh no, Jey Uso is not going to carry your show. All due respect to Jey. He shouldn't even be world champion to begin with, bro. That's just my opinion. And we gotta see what's going to be going on with any of the talent to even progress over from the jobbers to the top of the card to see if we can establish anything that doesn't require a Samoan being part of the main event. But, oh man, I don't know. A lot of people are even wishing for back in 2019 or 2018 WWE, when we were still having a massive hatred on for Roman Reigns taking over the network, and he's evolved his character to now finally being a resolved face of the business, a face of the company, and now over to a live support channel, because I'm not hearing any sellouts in SummerSlams in like, what, under a month? Not under a month, because this weekend is Money in the Bank, I think. And there's been barely any buzz. Like a few years ago, we had to change over to a smaller venue around Vegas because they were doing such poor numbers. And you think you can accumulate that if you go to Riyadh? And New Orleans is going to get Money in the Bank next year, bro. So nice work screwing over ticket sales over a margin of thousands of fans. The TKO is just doing, man. This is depressing. Over this majority partnership that's possibly doing well financially for the WWE, aesthetically, it's not helped the show improve. It's not helped the development over your programming for future talent to establish over your show. And majority of wise, you're already losing the faith over in the fans for getting rid of beloved favorites over in the locker room for the bare minimum of payout. And most of the acquisitions that you're selling is not really pushing any other needle than just fitting on the roster. That's my thing. You can take it as pessimistic all you want. I've been right over the decline of most stuff that's been happening over in wrestling. You can come over being pessimist. You can call me a pessimist, a derogative hater that I'm just doing negativity points for Cliffs, who's been really consistently every week watching wrestling majority of the time on their free time by choice. Since I've been stopped consistently talking about wrestling in the channel. I can wait. I could truly wait. I'm gonna really see what's gonna be the numbers coming into Evolution. It's been since 2019, Nassau Coliseum, since their last Evolution show, and it's still notorious for one of the worst WWE live events in recent history, over probably a worser gate than the last Dynamite episode. And they get almost as bad numbers as Prime Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling. It's not gonna help. There's no shot you gotta pay me to watch Worlds Collide. I'm not gonna be there to be seeing Worlds Collide, bro. This is just for things to come over payouts for when they have to showcase El Vikingo. Just to buy him out, bro. This is gonna be like at least a 3 hours. This is gonna be a 3-hour show, bro. And too Money in the Banks to compensate. Even though most people are just gonna be talking about the men's one, and whatever the result's gonna be for the John Cena tag team match with Logan Paul against Jey Uso and Cody. Just to elevate back to feud with Cody after he's been gone for like 3 weeks on TV and he barely got a segment to himself. And no one's asking what's going on with Jay. Because he keeps doing the ha ha yeet shit. And it never gets over. Majority of the time. And when I mean over, I mean barely pushing over traction that is garnering at least 1 million views, or at least 200,000. At least 200,000 views on YouTube. It doesn't even have to get 5 million. It doesn't have to match or run in with Cody Rhodes or Rollins feuding with CM Punk, and just Sami Zayn sprinkle over in the background, still feeling like he'll be sort of important until he gets his Mickey Mouse Kofi Mania title reign because of tenure, all because he deserves it because he's a good wrestler. If you guys are still thinking that way, you guys are also a reason why it's been a majority of TKO takeover with Make-A-Wish championships, because there's no shot I should be seeing the IC women's title getting forcibly elevated on a pay-per-view when we could at least fit 6 more matches on this show. At least like 4 matches on the show. I'm trying to get my money's worth if I'm a paid customer over on the live event where we're pushing over dynamic ticket pricing and you're just trying to force over high spots. Only like 2 big gimmick matches, 1 big match, and a newcomer facing off against an established star that's possibly not going to elevate Lyra Valkyria. And other people missing out on that payout option, even though they be busting their ass on weekly television. This formatting does not work, in my opinion. We'll probably get to see around the week, because we could at least give the benefit of the doubt what's going on over for the WWE. Because all I've been noticing is what's going to happen next. What's the next bad thing to happen, bro? Because people are calling this as bad as the time Roman Reigns got poured dog food with Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler back on SmackDown. Lacey Evans in the storyline with Ric Flair. The DQ Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins and The Fiend. And motherfucking that egg thing from Survivor Series that didn't do anything. And Tozawa with his bunch of ninjas. I'm not censoring the N-word. He literally had a bunch of ninjas when he was 24/7 champion. Like, you don't know how much we can go down the rabbit hole when it comes to that just shameless into it, like monetization, shameful commercializing to shill out over money for the product, and no content, no contents of anybody elevating themselves beyond the WWE over this. And we got so many talents that could be doing a lot more to extend over the broadcast so we can have more characters and more stuff to look forward to every week. But enough of me rambling. How you guys feel about what's going on with TKO? Just I feel like they're making this worser than late 2010s WWE, bro. And even around like 2020, it was barely watchable. That's it for me over in the DC show. Like, comment, subscribe for more over on the channel.